Hey everybody, welcome to This Board Game Life episode number 117. Socializing is the title. And my camera's following me. How annoying. I thought I turned it off. I guess I just need to stop moving. Anyway, this is This Board Game Life. This is the show about gaming, board games, tabletop games, card games, any kind of games we want to talk about. I am one of your fine hosts for today. My name is Rob. And with me, as always, I have my good buddy Mark right over here.
Howdy. How's it going?
Looking forward to this show, Mark. Lots of fun stuff to talk about. Actually, I'll look at it later. I'm like, while we're doing this, I can start looking to see where I can turn off this annoying tracking thing. And I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Well, I will say this is going to be an interesting episode for those watching on YouTube, because we are going to attempt to implement some new views, some screen sharing, so we can share the games that we're talking about, the news articles that we're sharing, things like that. So, and it's our first attempt. So please bear with me as we go through this, and we'll see how it works. So,
well, we're seasoned professionals.
Yeah, right.
As I'm struggling with my camera, it's like I just need to hold it. Actually, no. Now it's going to be some weird gestures or something.
There you go.
Anyway, all right. Let's get on with the show. Real quick, I want to make mention that we do have a YouTube channel. You can find a ton of content on our YouTube channel. We have our podcast both in video and audio form. We have unboxings, playthroughs, reviews, and more. Make sure to like and subscribe, of course. Perfect cue, Mark. Look at that. Make sure to get notified. Click that bell. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines. And I did. Whoa, look at that. That's our website.
Oh, what is it?
I don't know. I'm seeing something.
We're still on the side, aren't we?
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
But
then
yeah,
you need to hit like full screen or something. No, you don't. Don't overcomplicate it. But yeah,
we've got a ton
we've got a ton of stuff out there. And spoiler, I just posted my first video in like 10 years on there. So yeah, there's me. Look at mini Rob sitting in this chair. Did a playthrough of Hercules and the 12 Labors. So actually, no, I did an unboxing and a playthrough.
Yeah.
Look at me. Anyway, so make sure to check that out. And definitely, if you watch a video, like it, subscribe. That definitely helps us out with the algos. And, that's what it's all about over there. Okay, so to the table.
Oh boy,
I'll go first this time. So I played Hercules and the 12 Labors. This is a game that I picked up, I don't know, about a week or actually like 2-3 weeks ago. And I was holding it for my first video. So I finally got my setup up and did the unboxing. I played it actually quite a bit. It's a fun little card and dice game. The whole premise of the game is it's a solo game. The whole premise is that you're Hercules and you're going through and you're doing the 12 Labors, fighting all the different monsters and such. You start off with the Nemean lion as the first one. Then, you've got the birds. You've got the boars and all these other critters that Hercules was fighting. But it's a cool little game where you have the labor card, which, for example, is the lion in your first round. And the dice, there's a die on the card which will show the health of the lion. So he starts off with 6, and you're trying to roll dice combinations to deal damage to whoever your opponent is in that particular round. And you get to do some dice manipulation. For example, on the lion, you have to roll either a 5 or a 6 out of your 4 dice to cause a 1-point damage reduction to the lion. But you can also put one of your dice on your bow card, which is your weapon, which allows you to bump that pip count up 1 or down 1 at the cost of 1 health. So you do get a little bit of, mitigation for the luck factor of rolling the dice. And sometimes the dice are not kind, that's for sure. Because, if you need a 5 or a 6, you're like, hey, that's pretty good odds, 30% chance. And, you roll like 10 dice and not a single 5 or a 6. But you do get to tweak your dice, but unfortunately it's only 1 die on that particular card. And there's other cards that you get as you defeat more laborers, which let you convert, for example, a 3 into a 6 and vice versa. You can get health points back. You can score these divinity points, which are essentially like hit points. But the game is really well produced. It's really nice. I always like me a nice dice chucker, and it gave me a reason to print out a dice tower on my printer as well. But I really enjoy the game. It's a lot of fun. Check out the video if you're curious as to what it is, and it's actually even available at Barnes and Noble of all places.
Oh wow!
I hadn't seen it at my local board game store, and then I saw they posted on social media that it's like, come into Barnes and Noble. What Envy Board and Games posted that, and so I ran over there, and even my dinky little Barnes and Noble that I've got over by the house here, which is not one of the big ones, which has the really good selection, because there's like different tiers of Barnes and Noble. There's the really nice toy and game section, and then there's the afterthought toy and game section. Mine is the latter, but they still had a copy or two of it, and I snagged it. But yeah, check it out if you're interested. That was my thing that I played, Hercules and the 12 Labors. How about you?
All right.
Been playing.
I got to play some Moonrakers. This game is awesome. This is one that I ended up like kind of going in, buying a lot of it, and deluxifying it. I've done some videos, and I bought a bunch of expansions, which I did some individual videos for those as well on the channel. So I encourage you to check them out. I think I'm hearing myself come back through. Maybe not. Okay. I thought I was hearing myself repeated. So anyways, Moonrakers from IB Studios. This game is really good. Again, I did a bunch of videos if you wanted to see an unboxing. The game's been around for a while. 2020 is when the original game came out, so it's not new. It is new to me, and I did get it played, and I've absolutely fallen in love with this game. And interestingly enough, it's one that I didn't think that I would necessarily like. I was concerned about it, and I am hearing myself somehow. I have a bad feeling. I got to do something real quick. I'm going to stop my sharing, as I'm wondering if it's coming back. I might be hearing us through the system of sharing this. So let me retry this and make sure the audio is off. I think that was causing the problem. Okay, we'll see if it goes away. But and as I get back to Moonrakers here, apologize if there was some audio there going on. That was my fault with doing new sharing, and I'm not hearing it anymore. So I think it was feeding back from the share. Okay, so anyways, Moonrakers is I didn't think I was going to like this game. This was something that originally, when I read about it, didn't really seem to interest me. And I can't even remember right at the moment, like what it got me to decide to buy this after all. But it is fantastic. And I know I really wasn't interested because it was like a negotiation style game. But this is so much fun. You are basically, there's these contracts that are out on the board, and which you can see on the screen now, right now. These, you can try to do these yourself, like by having so many of each of the resources, basically the colors that are on there. But like when you first start out the game, you're not going to have enough stuff to be able to do these on your own. So you now negotiate with other players at the table to, hey, do you want to assist? If you can give me some thrusters or some shields, or if you're willing to roll hazard dice, or, then you can gain, I'll share the rewards that come with this contract with you. And you are working with everyone else or whoever you want to bring in to try to complete this. And you're negotiating, like, I know they're going to get reward. Which of the rewards are they going to get? Might be credits, might be prestige points, it might be a bonus card. But then there's also, what are they going to bring? What are they going to offer? And then you got to look, can you actually do it? And it might be a way to host someone over. If you don't want them to be able to complete it, you might say, yeah, I can do it. And then you're just dumping your cards, and then they don't get any points, and you didn't either, but maybe you don't want them to come up. So it's kind of it can be a mean game, but at the beginning, you really need to cooperate and work together. And the game has these other things to kind of really promote working together and negotiating. But then as you start to get towards the end, you've got to be careful. And now you're going to want to start, hopefully you'll have stuff to be able to complete things on your own. It's really nice. It's got a really cool balance of working together and then maybe not working together. Very cool game. That was Moonrakers. The next game that I did play was Coup, or what I like to call Coup. This one was very different. I had never played this before, and it was interesting. I've played kind of these social deduction games before, but this one was weird because there was like 3 of every character in there, and then you just know certain people can do things. So it's like, maybe you're going to take, I think the captain can take 2 coins. Well, maybe you're not the captain, but you could just bluff and say, I'm the captain, I'm taking 2. And then someone would have to challenge you if they thought you weren't. And then if you weren't, I think you lose that card and obviously the coins. But if you weren't it, then they would lose their card. So you got to be careful when you're trying to like call people out. So very interesting game, very quick playing, and that's Coup. Next I got to play, let's see, best way to go down my list here. I'll start here. I did do Wonderland's War again. This is a fantastic game. I mean, not only is it a beautiful game on the table, this is absolutely gorgeous. It's one of the just how am I trying to say? Like when someone walks by and sees this on the table, I mean, this is the one that's like, what is it? There are so many colors. There's so much presentation here. There's so many things going on. You got bag building. We got area control. You've got a rondel going on. There's just, you've got cards. You're adding in addition. You've got asymmetrical character abilities. There is just so much happening in this game, and it is really something to behold.
In a good way.
Yes, in a good way.
Yeah.
I will say, you don't want to play with less than 4 people. It can play like 2 to 5. Don't play it with less than 4. I've played it with 3, and then you want conflict, but with 3 people, then people can kind of go to their own areas, and then there's no battle, and they just get these points, and it's a very boring game. You want, if you can play with 5, it plays best at 5. It is absolutely a fantastic game, and it is just, I love the different things going on in it and the different abilities. It is just an amazing game. So there's so much to like about it. And just, if and I'm not a big fan of Alice in Wonderland, but this is an amazing game. So much happening. So check out Wonderland's War if you get the opportunity. All right. Next, I got to play a brand new game that arrived. This one's called Tatsumi. I crowdfunded this, and it just arrived this last week. And this is one I've been waiting for. I backed this back like November of 2024, I think it was. So it's been a while, and I've been excited for this the whole time. And I have played this myself, like a little 2-player kind of teaching myself how to play. And this is a very interesting game. So this is from the company that gave us Planet Unknown. If you know me very well, it's one of my all-time favorite games. So what I'm showing here is you can see like you've got these dragons, and they're sitting on this clear plastic board, which is called the seaboard. And there's these different colored rings in the trays. And every dragon, now there is a symmetrical and asymmetrical way to play this. So everyone can be playing with the same dragon movements and island requirements, or you can have asymmetry with how each dragon is reacting on the seaboard and how they move or how they gather rings. And then you can also have asymmetry on the island boards that you're playing on. And there's these different islands. So if you're familiar with Planet Unknown, one side of the player boards are all the same. And then you flip them over and they all have like a different way that those islands will work and score. So there's a lot of variation on the game, on how it plays. And it's a really beautiful production. The boards are not shown in the picture right here, but the ones that I have are dual layer. So your rings will stay in place on your island board. You have cutouts for the when you're getting things from the seaboard, they go into this holding area, kind of like Castles of Burgundy. Like when you're taking your stuff, it's got to go like into this holding area, and then you, on a different turn, then you can put those onto your island. So for those that have played Castles of Burgundy, that kind of mechanic will seem very familiar. But it's just a really fantastic game. So this should be in the stores, I'd imagine, within the month or two, as it is going out to crowd backers right now, and should be hitting retail soon. So really beautiful game. The artwork is incredible. Again, the pictures that you're seeing on the screen, the rings that I got have artwork actually on the rings. So it's not just a colored ring. There's also specific designs for them. So for people that have color blindness, there's also designs on the rings that should be able to help and assist with that. So, and the artwork is really, really beautiful in this. So, but I really like it. It's Tatsumi. Another new game I just got in is Labyrinth Chronicles, and I've been playing this one quite a bit. It's actually set up on my table, and I was getting ready to play another game today. I'm just playing it solo, and I'm just using like 2 characters. So I'm kind of just playing a campaign, just kind of controlling back and forth, because it is a co-op game. So there's not any kind of like competitive. I'm doing the Chronicle, the new part of Labyrinth, and it's basically a campaign. But this is a really beautiful, you have these 3D walls on this board, and if you can see like in the picture here, the rows and columns that have the dark gray walls, those don't move, but every other row and every other column will slide. So your walls in your maze are always changing. And it's such a neat thing, because like you're trying to get somewhere, and then all of a sudden you get an event that comes up that causes like all the everything on the yellow row to shift, which it's like, oh, it just blocked off my path of where I was going to go on my next turn. This game has the original Labyrinth rules. It has, I think it's called the Master rules. So there was like another variant that has done in the past. All of that's here. And then they've also included Chronicles, which basically has turned this into a cooperative game. And if you can see in the picture there with all the boxes, you, at certain points, by completing certain objectives, you're going to be able to make decisions to which of these boxes do you open. And then there's more content in those. And like the very first box will have like these 3 bags inside that they're black and they're labeled, but you're only opening up like the first one. and then you pull out what's in there. And then each box has a rule sheet, and you'll read the first side to say, here's the new content that's going into the game. Here's some new rules. Here's some new setup. Here's some things that are going to continue. And then now you've got more content, more things to do. And then you save that rule sheet. And once you've met like 2 objectives, then you get to go back to the rule sheet and flip it over, and it'll tell you open up bag 2, and here's how to deal with that new content coming into the game. And it is very family oriented game. So like, I'm not going to take this to my group. I do have some people I think that would enjoy playing this game, but for the most part, my group's just not going to be really into this. But if you've got young kids, I think it's ages 10 and up, I want to say, somewhere right around there, might be 9. But if you've got young kids and you want to play with them and have this like fantasy dungeon campaign, it's really fun. You're trying to get to those portals that you see on the screen. Then you got goblins that at certain points they'll come in and they're trying to get the treasures. And it's a really easy game to play. And what I like is with the Chronicles part is that it's a story that every time you're doing something, just about every time you play, more new stuff is coming into the game. And it's really exciting to open up new boxes, see what new content's, getting new things and new challenges. And the game is going to get progressively a little bit more difficult as that goes on. So a lot of fun. This is out to backers now. I think the crowdfunding has ended. I think it ended 2 days ago, I believe. So the reason I've got it was that, again, we talked about that express crowdfunding, and I got it right away. So this game's ready. It should be in stores really quick. The only thing that's going to be delayed will be those that wanted sun-dropped and non-English versions, or if you wanted, but all the English-speaking non-sun-drop versions are already done. They're ready to go. So I think they're going to be in the stores probably before too long. Okay, losing my voice here.
And if you missed out on that, you can always get the original Labyrinth for like $20.
Yeah.
or I actually got mine at I found it years ago at Goodwill or one store like that.
But now that doesn't have the fancy like walls and stuff, right?
Nope.
So that's, I think, what's really neat about this version is that the maze is actually changing on you. And it's fun to slide the stuff and just watch and like you on your turn. You still get the
sliding, but you just don't have 3D.
Oh, okay. So they're what, like flat tiles?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just, I don't know, the 3D is really cool.
Yeah, it is.
It really enhances the game. And, basically you're going to, on your turn, you're going to roll this dice to see what the goblins do. And then they'll take their turn, right? And then you can either move or you can gather, or what's it called? Or am I getting my games mixed up? No, you're moving, and then you're doing either a gathering or an offering. Is that right? That sound right? I got the wrong game up, and now I'm like, my brain's moved on to SETI, but you're just trying to, you're going to move and then slide. That's it. So you are, I was totally with the gathering and that was a different game. You're moving. So you can either move your character or you can slide. So there's always this extra piece. So you can slide the maze or move the maze. So if you end up getting blocked, then you still could try to move the maze to open up a path for you. So the maze is constantly changing. Really, really is cool.
All right. Yeah, it actually looks like a game that somebody had the original Labyrinth and then they did like a special terrain pack for it, right? With the walls and such. Yeah. Like they printed it on their 3D printer. but
Yeah,
done much better.
Yeah, I'll put the proper game back on the screen. So
yeah,
this is like a look at all of the base content that you're getting in this game. And I mean, it's a big box because all those tiles, the tiles and everything take up like 2 inserts. There's like 2 trays of that have inserts that sit on top of the one you're seeing in this picture with all of the boxes, the enemies, and then the cards. So, but yeah, there is a bit of setup on this every time you play, especially in the Chronicles, because as the game goes on, there's more of these little tiles that you're putting out. So that bag there is full of these cardboard tokens that represent items that you're going to go after in the game, and you place them on there, and then you've got that portal board that you see in the bottom left. That's where you pull a card out for each color, and then you put those colored portals out on that item. Then those items go back in that bag there, and then that's where you got to go to get that card. And then if you get the card at the end of the game, like it's worth a crystal, some, and then as you go, these cards, these items can get upgrades. So I just opened up some the other day that now when I get that item, I'll get 2 crystals, and then there's some of these other objectives and things that you're playing as you're playing, like, well, if you get if you collect this series of items, which might be the animals, then you'll get bonus crystals, and the crystals allow you to buy things like scrolls, which allow you to do certain abilities like do an extra slide or rotate a tile that you happen to be on. So there's or re-roll a die, or so there's all these kind of abilities that you can also purchase. And again, the crystals are important in the Chronicles because you need like 10 crystals to purchase a hammer, and then you need hammers to basically open those boxes, because those boxes represent buildings. Essentially, the story is this village got destroyed and this labyrinth appeared, and you're going in to get these valuable items to use basically to rebuild the village is kind of the story. So it's fun. I like it. It's not a hardcore game, but I know this was like a really beloved game back in the day. And I think not having that experience before, but I'm really enjoying this.
No,
I'm having fun.
It's definitely worthy of all the praise, and it's definitely worthy of that Awakened Realms treatment,
Yeah.
Because I was going to say that it was an SDJ winner. No, it was just recommended.
Oh, the original game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 1986.
Yeah, it's an oldie, but
it's
definitely
like
a
high
goodie.
School time.
So what, 40 years ago?
Yeah.
So, all right, let me jump on to SETI. I'm going to try to speed this up, but SETI, I love this. I got the opportunity this last week to play this a game along with the brand new expansion, Space Agencies. I haven't had the chance to play it yet until this week, and I was very kind of questionable because the Space Agencies adds new aliens, which I wanted. It adds asymmetrical player abilities, which I wanted, but it also has this if you're familiar with Terraforming Mars Prelude, where you kind of skip round 1, so it gives you these extra things and kind of just randomly, you get these cards and you're selecting, I'll take this, and this, and then like you're getting like maybe putting your satellites out or on certain things. So you're kind of jump starting round 1. And I wasn't sure how I feel about it, but I actually really did enjoy it, even though I feel like we kind of missed a round. It didn't really feel that way because when you're starting, you've already got round 1 done, so you have some things on the board, you have some income going on. And it's like, okay, I feel like I'm not just starting from scratch, which everyone in the base game, everyone's just kind of grinding that first thing to get something going. And this does speed the game up. So it's another thing, if SETI's just been too long of a game for you, this will really speed it up by cutting out 1 round. but I didn't really feel like I lost out on anything, and I was originally concerned I was. So Space Agency is a winner for me. I will continue to use that in my games going forward, and I absolutely love SETI. So glad I've got this.
Mhm.
All right, next I played some Moonrollers. This was a new one for me this week, again from Ivy Studios, and this is in the Moonrakers universe, but you got cards. The contracts are still in the game. Well, it's crew is what you're trying to, kind of the contracts you're trying to get. So, but people can, again, you're not negotiating with other people. You are trying to complete the cards, and that way if you're the last one to complete the resources for the crew member, you get that card, and then you get that ability going forward that's on that card. So there's 5 different factions. So you've got your yellow, blue, green, purple, and orange. So to win the game, you get 1 of each faction or 3 cards of a single faction. That'll trigger the end of the game. But as you can see from the picture, some of these cards have different player cubes on it, and that's because those players have contributed to that quote contract or that to hire that individual. And what happens is the very last person to fulfill that contract gains that card and the ability. But the points that are underneath the cubes, those numbers underneath each of the resources there tells you how many resources you need to contribute to complete that. Those also translate into points that you'll get at the end, or once that card is complete, then everybody gets those points that contributed to it. And then some of these will have little hazard tokens on them. You take 2 hazard tokens, you look at them yourself, you pick one to keep and put the other one back in the pile. Those give you points at the end of the game, but some of them have multiple hazard symbols on them. What happens is at the end of the game, whoever has like the most hazard symbols, they don't get to score those points. So you don't want to have a whole bunch, but man, you pulling up a 5 points, it's got 2 hazard symbols on it. It's like it's tempting to take it. So really fun game. Plays like 2 to 5. It plays fairly quickly. That's Moonrollers. Couple more to talk about. One is Wizards Academy. This was a new one for me as well this week. A friend of mine in my game group brought it. This was quite interesting. It's a cooperative game, and it's really hard. You have all these rooms set up on one side of the board. The other side is basically all these spell cards, and they are face down to start with. And you basically got to go to the rooms, get these ruins. I think they're called runes. And then you can use those to cast the spells or discover the spells. But you basically will flip a card, or once you have the correct runes, you flip the card over and look at it, what it is. But then it goes back upside down, and you have to and you got to remember, that's part memory game. You have to remember what the name of that spell was. And later someone's got to go into the library, I think it is, and do a binding of the spells. And then for everyone that you have seen, only the person that's doing the binding can say the name of the cards. No one else can. And they have to say, this one is this. And this one's like, I'm drawing a blank. I can't think of any of them. One was enraged. Well, if that's the right thing, then it stays face up, available, locked. It can't go away. If you can't remember, then all of the spells, like all the cards, get reshuffled and replaced in different places, and now you got to find them again. So that can be tough when you're trying to find stuff. So you've got to find the spells, bind the spells, so that then everybody has access to those. And in the meantime, your dungeon is catching fire, the fire's spreading, the monsters are gathering, and you need these spells to defeat them. So it's a very interesting game, very unique, very tough, and it's a lot of fun. So that is Wizards Academy. And then I believe the last one that I played was King of Tokyo. We got the Monster Box edition is what was brought, and this was just the four of us last night playing, battling each other for control of Tokyo, and we're rolling the dice and attacking each other, trying to get energy, to get cards, to make ourselves more powerful. And it was a good time. I really did enjoy King of Tokyo. I used to have this game. I don't know why. I do believe I got rid of it, and I don't know why.
That's one of the first games you bought.
I know, and I think it was one of those I just never played again.
Yeah.
And I think it got removed in a purge, and then we were playing this last night, and I was like, why did I get rid of it? Well, I do have King of Monster Island, which is the same series, but it's a cooperative game, really hard. I think that's the thing, is I enjoyed that a lot more. But
yeah, no, I get it. But the thing is, they're coming out with that the kaiju version, soon. So you could always rebuy it.
Yeah, I might have to just get that one.
Yeah, because I don't know. I'd rather
be cool for Godzilla.
Yeah, I'd rather have Godzilla and I forget, Mothra. I forget which ones were in there. Yeah, but I'd rather have that than the big monkey dude. And
I was playing Boogie Woogie. That was the one I played last night.
Which one's that?
Actually, it's this little sack boy looking guy right here in the bottom of the picture.
Yeah.
If it's, I don't know, maybe they'll have a picture of him here, but it was fun. I really did. It's this guy here on the right hand side, this grayish thing, but it's a fun game. Really, really a good time.
It absolutely is.
So, all right. I think I will stop my sharing. I think
awesome.
Get us back to the proper window. And,
okay. Well, let's move on real quick. There's a whole bunch of ways you can contact us. We love seeing your comments.
I did miss one.
What would you miss?
I did miss one. I want to show that.
Rewind. Go back.
So let me pull this back up.
But
turn
wait,
that audio back
just
on.
One more.
And it's it dropped off my screen, but I did get back into playing the Mandalorian Adventures.
Oh yeah.
So this is one I was playing, and then I kind of stopped playing it. But it's like this book, and you got these cards, you're playing as these characters, basically playing through the story of the Mandalorian, or season 1.
Yeah.
And I finally did complete my first playthrough. So when you open the box, there's these 2 envelopes in there, and they're you can't open these till you're directed. Well, completing the first 4 scenarios allows me to open up the first envelope. So I was able to open that, and it brought in more content to the game, more things to do. And now it's I need to go. My goal was I'm going to play again, the continuing with these missions, because I also have the first expansion for this game that I haven't been able to touch yet. And I kind of want to get to that too. But then Labyrinth showed up, and that took over my kind of little miniature game, moving, or, this type of game. But, this is a lot of fun. If you like the Mandalorian, this is you're basically kind of playing through the story of the TV show, and it's got this book, and at each page, there's a comic before your campaign or your mission. So you kind of go through this comic, it reads, if you want to read up leading up to this battle, and then you go to the next page, and it's got 2 pages there, and it's got some setup and victory conditions and things like that. And then you're gonna set the map up and put your characters out, and then you're gonna use these cards to play. And it's pretty fun. I really do enjoy it. The game has these 8 characters in it that are on the screen now. And then it's been fun to play through and try to there's missions where you're trying to get the child. The very last mission I found very, very complicated. So it was a little rough, but Yeah, that was a Mandalorian Adventures. So
Yeah, that's one that I've had for a while. I haven't broken it out to the table yet, but it's one of those that I'm like, always, I need to get that because it was designed by Corey Kanishka, which was one of the big designers of from FFG back before they got acquired back in, we'll call it old FFG. So he made like so many great games.
Battlestar Galactica, the board game he did.
Yep. Yeah, he did that.
That's so
Eldritch
awesome.
Horror, a bunch of the Star Wars ones, Death Angel. So yeah, he left a couple of years ago after, like, I think everybody left FFG of the original crew, and he started his own company. And then The Mandalorian was, I want to say, one of the first new games. Like, he designed it. It's his company, like his publishing house. And I think they publish like nothing but his games or something like that. There's 3,000 Scoundrels and
Cozy Stickerville is his new one that just released.
Okay. And there was something else, like Lands
Voices
Unknown.
in My Head was before 3,000 Scoundrels. Oh, and then The Initiative was his first game for Unexpected Games.
Oh, it was. Okay. So he did like Lands Unknown. Was that through Unexpected or was it FFG? Okay.
Discover Lands Unknown.
Yeah, that one.
That's Fantasy Flight.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that one had something like a really cool hook into it where there was some way where they made every copy of the game unique. So
yeah, I see that. That's what it says here on their thing.
Yeah, there's like some kind of thing. So FFG did Keyforge. It's a card game. I think it's Keyforge. For some reason, I keep wanting to say Keymaster, but I know that's not right. So yeah, Keyforge. They did that where they like randomized all of the packs. So like everybody basically had a different experience of some kind, right? Whether it's different art, the cards were built different. It was all randomized, and they somehow patented that as well. And then Discover New Lands was the first board game that was printed somewhere along the same lines with the same technology. So like if you got a copy, it was different than my copy. And, I guess you could say, is that good or is it bad? Right? Because you could have a good copy. You could have a not so good copy. I don't know. Who's to say? But anyway, sorry, I sidetracked us talking all about Corey. But yes, he did do Battlestar. Did he do it with a team or was that him solo?
He did it. He's a solo designer of that.
Okay. Yeah. So good. Yeah.
I like group played that last night too. At the other table, they played it. And I was like, I want to play that. But a buddy of mine brought Wizards Academy because he's been wanting me to try that one. And I was like, bring that. So
you're sitting there looking longingly over to that table like a little kid looking at a big slice of cake that he can't have.
Yeah. I was like, anyway. You had to bring it when I can't play.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, so there's a whole bunch of different ways you can contact us. Of course, there's contact@thisboardgamelife.com. You can send us an email. If you want, you can also record something. We'll play it on the air. Send us an MP3. Usually those can be attached to an email just fine. And of course, always you can reach out to us on BGG, respond in the comments section in any of our videos. And we love hearing from our listeners. All right. So let's blast through the news and then we'll get on to the main show. You want to see what you got? The first three?
I do.
All right. It's all you.
Okay. So the first one, this I found out about because the board, the TCG game Altered, they had a crowdfunding project going on like as of just the other day. And then I guess Wednesday they canceled it. They canceled the crowdfunding project. And then it hit that the story about the Altered is ending after its last crowdfunding campaign fell far short of its goals. And the publisher Equinox, I guess they scrapped this crowdfund for the Roots of Corruption expansion after raising more than 420,000 euro. But they, after having launched the campaign last week with a 50,000 euro target, a figure described in the project page as a technical necessity in order to use GameFound's stretch goal system. They said that it had also collected 680,000 euro through retail pre-orders for the expansion, but added that the 1.1 million total was far too far, quote unquote, from their 2 million euro the company required to guarantee the future of the game. So they said in a statement that it would be dishonest to tell you that we can still turn the tide by Friday evening. We must face reality. The numbers simply aren't there. So it's with heavy heart they've decided to cancel their Roots of Corruption campaign, as they committed to doing all backers, both players and retailers, will be reimbursed in full, which is really nice, because normally that doesn't happen. But they stated this is the cornerstone of our responsibility towards you and is the most obvious decision to make. The campaign does not only mark end of the crowdfunding project, it also marks the end of the altered adventure. So this game is it's done.
Kaput.
So kind of surprised. Like, this thing got some pretty big hype, but I don't know if it can just like Magic and some others out there, the new Star Wars game and Arcana. I guess maybe it's just too many in this area for another one to kind of pull out and make its own space. So,
but so the thing that I don't get is, I mean, I don't know how popular the game is or the history of it, because I haven't been following this one, nor have I played it, but it's a fairly recent game, right? It came out 3 years ago-ish, and they had a $50,000 target. They blew out that target by almost 10 times. Well, a little bit less than that, maybe 8 times. But you would think that their target would be what they need to move forward. So this is them just deciding not to do it. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't seem like technically it's a limitation. I think they need a 2 million euro. Okay.
So
gotcha.
It's one of those things, I think, where with crowdfunding too, a lot of these companies will be like, we need $10,000. And then they're like, game was backed in 70 seconds. But really they needed $1 million. But they want that. They want to put that in there. Like, this was backed and, funded in 7 seconds, which it's false advertising.
Yeah.
But it's another way to hype the game. And it almost seems like they said they only needed 50,000, but they needed 2 million, or 2.5 million. Well, why did you just say you only needed 50 to begin with? You know, did you think you were going to get it quick and be able to look, it's so popular, this is how fast? Because then people think, oh, well, what am I missing? How did this fund so quickly? They just think, ooh, this is so popular, so many people got on it, when that's not necessarily the case. And maybe that's what they did here. They were expecting a bunch from retail. So I guess they were like, well, we should get this much from retail. We only need this much from crowdfunding to make it happen. And both fell short. But at least they're giving the money back, which I'm stunned by that.
Yeah.
But the game, there's that's the end of it. They're basically done with this game. They're not going to be, no more expansions. They're probably not going to print any more of the base game. What's out there is what it sounds like. It's just, it's uncertain. So they have it says uncertain future. Equinox founder acknowledged in the latest update announcing the end of of Altered, that players would inevitably have questions about the future of their digital collections, the game's availability on board Game Arena, and the legacy of this universe. They're not going to leave you in a vacuum. We simply need some time to digest this moment to properly close the chapter and provide you with clear and respectful answers. So they should have some updates for the community in the future. So, but yeah. TCG is gone by the wayside.
Yeah, it's surprising that they are wrapping it up, but hey, that's how it goes.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, they also made or the guy that started Altered, he made Seasons, which that's a game that I really enjoyed. I still like it. I don't know if you remember that one. You and I tried to play it.
We tried
a couple years ago.
Yeah, I remember we tried it on BGA, and I was like,
"Yeah, that was
quit.
Noob Mark."
It was Noob Mark.
I'll have to try it again. Doing.
There's more than one thing to do. I quit.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Anyway,
so moving on to one of my favorite designers, Tomasz Holek. Tea Garden is a game that came out in 2025.
Yeah,
something like that.
Actually, didn't it come out in Essen the year before, and then it came out to retail in the US here in 25?
Yeah. So, but Capstone Games has announced a new expansion for Tea Garden called Pour. I don't. It's Puerh. I don't know how to pronounce that. So this is going to expand the game of tea cultivation and trade. It's going to introduce 2 new action options and 2 new ways to score points. Players can now race to fulfill the demands of the Imperial decrees to earn bonuses and unlock the new courtiers, which can then visit the Imperial Court to earn additional bonuses. Meanwhile, they can collect tokens from the Perth market to craft tea cakes that grant rolling bonuses and additional points when completed. The expansion makes a slightly longer, deeper game with more strategic options. So, and I guess it's going to have include rules for solo play are also included in the expansion for those that want a solo challenge. So, looks like it's going to MSRP for about $34.99 US. The other thing that Capstone announced is their Pagan Expeditions into the Wild is their second expansion for Pagan, The Fate of Roanoke. With the cards in this expansion set, players can venture outside of the Roanoke colony and resolve the mysterious goings-on plaguing the colony. A new lost mechanic is introduced to represent villagers vanishing in the wilderness, and new villagers and new persona options for both the Witch and the Hunter round out this expansion. This is going to MSRP for $29.99. And again, both of these are set to launch in May of this year. So
looks like you pronounce it Puerh.
Puerh?
Yes. Like air or Puerh. So it's Chinese.
And then, hey, what do you know? We didn't even plan this, but this was completely unexpected. Unexpected Games will release the Mandalorian Adventures expansion, Sworn to the Creed. These are going to be missions inspired by season 3 of The Mandalorian. So this is expected to hit stores July 31st of this year. The cooperative missions and the expansion for The Mandalorian Adventures, like I said, inspired by season 3. Players will work together to help Din Djarin seek redemption by leading his people back to their ancestral homeworld. The expansion contains new scenarios, narrative twists, and challenges from the Star Wars saga. The expansion plus the base game is for 1 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, plays in about 45 minutes, and it will retail for $40 US. So, sorry, $39.99. So,
you leave off the last cent for savings.
We officially have gotten rid of the penny in the US.
Yep.
So can't we just say $40? Like, can't we just round everything up a penny now and make it $40?
Well, we only get rid of it when you pay cash.
So stupid.
Not digital.
Get rid of the penny everywhere. Yeah. All right. I think that's it for me. So let me switch to yours.
Devere Games has, so they got themselves in a little bit of a pickle. Well, last year, I believe it was. I don't think it was the year before. Anyway, they had Ace of Spades, which got some scrutiny. So they wound up recalling it after its initial launch right around Gen Con-ish. I think it was a Gen Con, I think.
Pretty sure.
And yeah, that's probably where the initial releases were. But anyway, it wound up getting recalled, and they now have complimentary replacement decks available on their website. So if that's something that's important to you, go over there and get your replacement deck by filling out a form over there. Having trouble talking here today.
Mm-hmm.
Just recently, we had the Gamma Expo. That is a kind of like a retailer industry kind of event. And this year, I guess like most of these events, they shattered all records. And let's see, this year in 2026, they're up over 1,000 attendees in just 2 years. Total attendance was 3,827. So mind you, this is not like a Gen Con or SN. It's a much smaller affair. Does not take anywhere near up the same amount of space as some of these, PAX, SN cons do. Mainly because, right, it is for industry folks. But anyway, so it's up around 12% from 2025, which had 3,425, so 3,425 attendees, and up from 2,736 in 2024. And I think there was a huge dip around COVID time anyway for all of these things. So it's going to take a couple of years for them to recover the attendees. But it's nice to see that these shows all the way around are getting more and more folks, because that means that there's more excitement in the hobby. And when people, especially like industry folks, are flocking to these events for whatever reason that they're there for, that in the end winds up better for us, because it expands the hobby and makes things more available to us. Anyway, Gamma's going to be moving to Baltimore next year. I think we talked about that a couple months back.
Where was it this year?
This year, where the heck were they normally? I thought they were out on the East Coast somewhere. Let me see.
Originally planned to stay in Louisville. Kentucky. So they were in Louisville.
Yeah, this is last year in Louisville, correct.
Okay.
And I want to say they were in Vegas or something like that before. So this one's bounced around a little bit, but that's okay. All right. Then next up. Okay, well, you already hit the Mandalorian one. Man, I went all over the place on that thing. Looks like we had some pasting issues in the show notes. Anyway, I'm going off script. Here I go.
Uh-oh.
Keep up with me. So Codenames is going to be doing yet another release. Right? They've been on a roll. CGE has been on a roll lately.
See what you did there.
Yeah. On a roll lately with their different takes on the IP. There was Harry Potter, there was a bunch of expansions, and now they're coming out with Codenames, Critical Role Adventures, hooking in some RPG style elements into the core game. This is going to be a street price of $39.99. It's got a bunch of different missions, and each mission takes about 15 minutes to play, 2 to 4 players. They're also coming out with a Vox Machina expansion pack, which is going to be $11.99. So that's like in addition to the ones that we mentioned. I want to say last episode.
Yeah.
And then StarCraft is a game that was much beloved. It's been out of print forever. And I'm talking about the board game, not about the video game, which has been around for a bajillion years. But StarCraft, the miniatures game, it's coming out with a 2-player starter set in May 2026. That's when it's going to be hitting retail. It's going to be retailing only for a mere $229. That's how it goes, right? You got to pay to play. But the box set is going to be shipping with a cloth playmat map, 12 Marine miniatures, 2 Marauder miniatures, 3 medics, a Jim Raynor miniature, a point defense drone miniature, 24. Why did my camera just zoom in on me?
Who knows? You probably did some hand gesture. It doesn't matter. I'm on the wrong page anyways, because I don't even see this link in the notes that you're talking about. So
yeah. Okay, it zoomed back out. I could have sworn I turned that off. It is turned off. Auto zoom off. The possessed camera. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of miniatures, 15 terrain pieces, 48 cards, an assembly manual. You even get a ruler, 20 D6 dice, and 60 tokens, again, for a mere $229. So if StarCraft is your thing, then definitely check that out. And then lastly, I think I'm probably responsible for my mix-ups there with the pasting in the show notes. Last thing that I've got is Ascension 15th Anniversary Collector's Edition. It's hitting pre-order for retail. This is a game that I was sort of excited about because I really enjoy Ascension. It's a fantastic game. After Dominion came out, in my circle of gameplay, this was the successor to Dominion. Very much a different take on it, not as medieval, more like, cultists and that kind of stuff. Artwork was a little bit funky, but the gameplay was awesome. And I don't even know how many of the expansions I have. Probably at least 5-6 of them. But they came out with a 15th anniversary on Kickstarter or GameFound, one of those platforms, last year. And I was really excited about it until I saw that the pledge level that I wanted was going to be $400. And then,
yeah.
Nope. I'm going to just keep my old copies. And even the 15th anniversary edition, it came in this tin box. It was like $100 along those lines. Yeah, I haven't played Ascension in years. And the last time I played it was the app version, which is really well done, by the way. But the app version is still not quite the same. But anyway, the game supports 1 to 4 players, 13 up, plays in 30 minutes. And yeah, retails for $100 in its fancy tin box. Love it or hate it. I think one way to look at it is I have a cardboard box, which I prefer to the tin box. Maybe that's another reason to keep my old version. But yeah, that's all of the news stories that I had for today. So I don't have to keep you on your toes anymore.
Yeah, you messed one up.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that happened, but I was showing something from Mage Knight Emergence.
Oh, yeah.
That's the link you had.
I forgot about that.
There was no StarCraft link.
I don't think I probably got distracted, the old squirrel distraction. As I was pasting everything in there. I'm like, ooh, what? Oh, I know what happened. I closed it because I saw Gamma it was in the tab. But anyway, so one thing that came out of Gamma 2026 is they made the announcement that a new Mage Knight game called Emergence, Mage Knight: Emergence, is going to hit retail in May of 2027. So for fans of Mage Knight and of Vlada Kvadl games in general, it's been all too long. It's been like 10 years since we saw any content for Mage Knight, and the time is finally here. So this new game is going to have a bunch of new scenarios, and looks like it's standalone. Let me just double check. It's new standalone board game. Ages 14 and up, plays in 60 minutes or more. I think for us, it'll probably be or more. And it's going to have a street price of $59.99, which isn't too bad. Ugh. As much as I hate to say that, but there's way more expensive games like Ascension, which is just basically mostly cards and some jewels. At least here you get some little minis and some other things. But it's going to contain 3 guided scenarios for first-time players, as well as 5 new full scenarios for players to make their way through. So that's cool. And we've got a little bit over a year to wait for that.
Cool.
So very, very cool. All right. Now on to the main event. Kind of want to say something clever about like getting into the ring main event. Anyway, maybe next show. So the name of this episode is Socializing, and one of the big aspects of this hobby for I'd say 99% of folks is that this is one hobby, the board game hobby, that lets folks socialize with other people. It gets you out there, gets you in front of people, playing with people, talking to people, hopefully not like duking it out because, you're a kingmaker and, you stole my victory. Man, that reminds me of back in the day when we used to play Fortnite with the kids. You stole my kill. How did I steal your kill? My bullet killed him. Doesn't matter that you unloaded 299 before me. I'll let
Can't
you
help that
one.
they missed.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway,
I did ask a guy I was playing with SETI the other night, right at the very end of the game. I said, "Hey, I got a quick rules question. If I flip the board, do I still lose?"
It's a valid question.
Hey, I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't count as a win for him, that's not a loss for me, and I'm going to flip the board right now. I'm out of here.
Yeah. Peace out.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyway, so there's a lot of socializing to be had in various different ways. So, we thought it would be fun to talk about that. So, here I'll pick one thing that I think that this hobby gives us, and that's the ability to make friends, because as you start playing with people, and I think a lot of this really stems on making the move to go and play with people, potentially either at a local game group, at a store, at the library, wherever it might be. I mean, somewhere in grocery stores, all sorts of restaurants, all sorts of places. You have to get yourself out there, and then either that or somebody's house or meetups, whatever it is. If you're at it for a while, you can potentially make some lifelong friends, right?
Yep.
And, that's an extra gift that potentially keeps giving, because I want to say, like, since you've been doing your meetup stuff, right? There's some people that you can probably call friends now, right?
Yes. Yep.
I mean, none as close as me, of course, but
you've been replaced. I'm just so you know. Distance speaks a lot,
Yeah, 2,000 miles is a big deal, but
yeah,
I get it. But you're only like 3 feet away from me now, though. Just saying. So, yeah, one great aspect of the hobby is you can definitely make friends, both close friends, more distant friends. You can go from, the weekly game nights to also doing like barbecues and, going places, going to cons, taking trips out of town to like the neighboring town to go to game stores, all sorts of stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's been, I think another aspect of it is with the world as it is today, a lot of people work from home, work remotely. And, like I do, I've been working remotely now since 2010. So, 16 years I've been doing this. But, it's been there, but it's become very popular, and a lot more people have kind of thrown into it since COVID. And a lot of those jobs have not returned. And if you have had to change jobs and during that time frame, and you go into a new company but you're working from home now, you lose that camaraderie, the getting to know people, making friends and doing things with people, because now you're just sitting at your house all the time. So again, having these, going out and gaming with people, like I said, I'm only about 3 years into this hobby, and I didn't do this, and I was working from home. I moved to a new state that I didn't know anybody. So I've made a lot of friends, and there are definitely people that are in my game group that I absolutely consider that are friends, and we'll do things outside of it. Like, we it's still gaming related, but like they had an escape room thing to, but we'll get together and do things outside of, board gaming. But also I have opportunities to game outside of just the game group. So getting together and doing more activities or more gaming, or, maybe doing it at people's homes or different locations. It's been great, and I've made some really good friends, and these will be friends. Some of them are going to be friends for life, I'm sure. Just really nice people, and I'm really grateful that this hobby has allowed me to make friends as well.
And it is nice to have friends for life. And it's even better to have friends that you can game with.
Yeah.
Because not all friends will game.
True.
That's the ones
then they're not really friends, right?
That's true, right? That's the ones where they're like, "Oh, you play board games? I roll."
Like, oh, you're an acquaintance.
Yeah. Hey, I want to show you something. What's that? What do you want to show me? The door. Goodbye.
Yep.
Anyway, another thing about the socialization aspect of the hobby, especially if you get out and you start hitting different groups or different game nights, is you're exposed to different people. And one thing that is very common when you're playing with the same people all the time is people will get into groupthink. So, everybody will have, kind of like the same mentality towards things, maybe they'll like the same games, which is good. But, in some aspects, that can also not be so good or not optimal. And, by getting out there and, exposing yourself to different groups, you can kind of get out of that a little bit and, have a different experience. Because I know there's been some times where, Like you will be with a group and you'll play a game, and let's say it might not be fun or the outcome is very similar every time. You go play with a different group, it's a whole different experience.
Yeah.
Like the game plays different, feels different. And, it's not that the people did anything wrong. It's just like how everything gels together, how everybody plays together and so forth.
Yeah.
So, another thing is you can, well, I guess you could technically either expose yourself to groupthink, or you can, you don't want to expose yourself.
That'll get you kicked out.
Yeah, no, but you can have groupthink or not, depending on the group that you go and game with. So you want to take another one of these?
Yeah. So as part of that groupthink, meeting different characters, different people,
savory and unsavory.
Yeah, I mean, just you've got if you've been to Gen Con, the world of board gaming, the people that are in the world of board gaming are vast and very different. There are people from all backgrounds, all different social beliefs, or just it's a mixing pot of everybody. It really is. And I know the first time I went to Gen Con, I was kind of like, whoa, like, it was kind of shocking to see just, first of all, so many people in one place. But there's a lot of different people. And kind of like what I think is really good about it is, like you stated before about getting out of groupthink, changing the games. I'm now playing games with people that normally I wouldn't have the opportunity to get to know them in my quote regular circles.
Yes, you mean like cool people like me?
Yeah. Thankfully, there's cool people here too. So
no eye rolling, man. No eye rolling. Not allowed.
And it's nice. I mean, when you're in a board game group, you are ultimately going to run into people that you just don't gel with. I mean, it is bound to happen. But my experience, we've had a few people that just kind of rub everyone the wrong way. But they usually, I think, get the hint and kind of see themselves back out. But we have, like, my group, I'm very thankful for the group I've got. It's really good group of people. And there are people in this group that I normally, like I said, wouldn't be friends with, because it's just a different groups, different lifestyles, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that this has allowed me to just meet people other than, that are different from myself, and get to know them, get to become friends with them, and just to get to enjoy gaming and with a very diverse group of people.
Yeah.
It's been very fun, and it's enhanced my gaming, I think.
Sure.
Because again, like you said on the previous item, it really has changed the dynamic of the way games are played. I can play, and I have played some games, a very specific game with a specific group. And then I play this game again with a different group of people, and it is very different, and like you said, it's I really like that. I'm very grateful for that. So another great aspect of what gaming brings, I think a lot of people, when they're like, oh, you play board games, they kind of think of like, you're just playing the game. Like, that's it. They look at the game, but that's why I'm glad we're talking about this, because there's so much more to this hobby than just buying games and playing games,
Sure. Oh, wait, there is?
Well, you're still buying games. I got to get you to playing the games that you buy.
I just need more shelves. That's all.
So,
yeah, because that brings up an interesting point where, we tend to Like for example, we wind up, because we both work from home and we have been for years, we tend to live in this circle of, so we're kind of like in, we'll say like technology slash IT kind of, and that's basically the people that you interact with every day, you know, and for no reason other than that's just who the customers are, who coworkers are, and stuff like that. And that's all that you know, because we deal with that like at least 8 hours a day, every day. And you know, so the board gaming hobby exposes you to people of all walks of life, just, you know, everyday people outside of our circle. And the one thing I was going to ask you, I know, you know, you kind of dealt with something like this not too long ago. Like when you have, let's say, conflict or disagreements, because you run a group. That's why I'm asking you. So you're like the big cheese. Like when you have a group where you have discomfort, where you have, let's say, disagreements, you have people that aren't gelling, like what do you think is a good way to handle that?
That was tough. And I know it was interesting because you and I had a conversation about this, because I brought this to you. I'm like, Rob, I don't know what to do, because, you know, I am the facilitator of the group. And even though I've always approached it as I just schedule these meetups, it's everyone else's group, but everyone else is like coming to me with the complaint, because it's like, oh, you're this is your group, handle this problem. So it's like, oh man,
it's like lead us.
So it, again, you wouldn't expect this in board gaming, but board gaming has presented me with the opportunity to handle some conflict resolution. And
like a manager.
yes. And, you know, in this instance that we're talking about, it went really well. I was able to talk to a couple people about some issues that several other people brought forth. And thankfully, because my concern was, I don't want to lose, because there was talk of people like, I'm going to have to leave because I just can't deal with this anymore. And I'm like, I don't want the group to disband. I don't want to lose people because there's, you know, people are rubbing each other the wrong way.
Sure.
Like, we've got enough people. It's like, you guys don't even have to game. You can sit at different gaming tables. Don't play the game together. You know, it's like, but come to group, you know, come to group. We need you. I don't want anyone to quit. And I don't want the people that I had to talk to go, wow, everyone hates me, I'm leaving, because that wasn't the case. So it presented me the opportunity to figure out how to handle it and have a conversation that can be real tough, because it's like, how does an adult tell another adult, hey, you're not gelling, or people aren't liking what you're doing? But hope that they take that not as an attack, but as an opportunity to kind of look and go, okay, am I overstepping my bounds? Am I being, you know, a little unrealistic with what I'm saying or doing? You know, what do I want out of this meetup as well? And ultimately, we're coming here to play games, and if there's something impacting that, then that's going to ultimately, you know, people are going to go. And I'm very happy to say that the people I had to talk to have all stayed. The people that came to me with complaints have all stated they're much happier now. They've seen improvements.
I thought you were going to say they left.
No, okay, everyone is still here.
That's good.
And on a weekly basis. That's the thing. All these people are coming every week. And so I feel that I have been able to, like, oh, wow, okay, now when this happens again, because it will. I mean, it's going to. It's people, right? And we're all different. It's going to happen, but I feel better prepared to handle it now because I've had to already do it. And now next time I'll be like, okay, I know exactly what I can do. And maybe next time it doesn't work out. But, you know, going into it is like, hey, what can I do to make us all happy? Because I want us all to keep playing games together, you know? Yeah, it's so you got to be prepared if you're going to run a group. Be prepared to handle things like that.
Sure.
If you're part of a group, don't be afraid to talk to whoever is managing the group, and or just talk to the other person. See, try to, but don't attack the person. Maybe I don't know. Ask Claude for some advice on how to approach the situation. Our buddy Claude.
Yes.
So, but yeah, it's been, yeah, I didn't expect to have to deal with that, but yep, it happens. And then one other thing I wanted to mention. See, we were talking about meeting different people,
Mm-hmm.
and you made a comment about like when we are at work, we're kind of talking with this group. Well, like in our jobs, because Rob and I work for the same company now, we are in IT, but we still have a very diverse group of people that we interact with every single day.
Oh yeah.
But like Rob was saying, is we're talking IT. We're all
Right.
thinking the same thing. I don't get to know, my engineer who lives in a different country. I don't get to know them on a personal level. I don't get to know anything about their family, their lives, when they're sick and, stuff like that.
Well,
It's
you
all
might
about
not. I
work.
do, but that's me.
That's you. But when you are in a group like this, that's where now you really get to know these people, and they become your friends, and you get those more personal interactions. So it's been really great. It's really good. And don't be afraid to make those connections with people. I'm going to run into the next one here because I've talked about this before. When I first went to go to a gaming event, I was like, I'm very introverted. I can be extroverted once I'm around people that I'm comfortable with. Like Rob will tell you, yeah, Mark is not introverted. He's very loud. He's very outgoing. He never shuts up.
Annoying, yeah, and all that.
But when I'm in a group of people I don't know, I'm tight-lipped. I'm quiet. I blend into the woodwork. That's just, so I'm very introverted until I get to feel comfortable. And it was a struggle for me the very first time I went. I'm like, all right, I looked this group up. They're playing this game. They have this event tonight. I'm going to go. Well, I almost backed out. I had to force myself, like, Mark, just go do it. Get in the car. I'm driving there. My internal
sweating.
Yes, everything is screaming, turn around, go home, be safe. It's like the fight or flight instinct. And everything was telling me to not go.
That was your wallet.
Yeah.
Was doing it.
No, it didn't cost me any money this night.
No, because
it did eventually. It hurt.
If you went down that road, it would lead to, lots of shelves and all sorts of stuff.
So, but then I fought through it, and I went.
Yeah.
And I got in there, and people were like, hey, do you want to play? And I'm just like, I'm just going to stand here and watch. And I was I was pushing everyone away. And finally, the store owner, she was like, sit down. I'm going to get you some stuff you can play. I got some ships because we were playing X-Wing. And I'm like, I don't know how to do it. Yeah. I just want to, it didn't matter. The group was welcoming. They're just like, sit down. We'll teach you. We just love to have new players. They enjoyed it. And, and that, getting through that initial discomfort, stepping out of my comfort zone that very first time, has allowed me to, okay, I enjoy that, but I want to play board games. I don't want to just play one game, this miniature game, X-Wing. I don't want to play that every week. And,
right.
It wasn't really what I was looking for. Couldn't seem to find what I was looking for. Rob said, hey, try Meetup. I created a group out there. Some people responded and met. And then we ended up finding out we happened to meet at the same place on the same night as another group. And so eventually I'm like, we're just going to combine. And eventually I ended up, the guy that had the other group had to step away, asked for someone to take it over. I volunteered. And now we've got a very good sized group. So, and I've got some amazing friends. And if I hadn't got out of my comfort zone that one night, I probably wouldn't be here. I'd be playing a lot of solo games, but I wouldn't have the friends. I wouldn't get the experiences of going out. All because I was afraid to step out of my comfort zone. So,
but you did it.
I did.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
And then
now I'm broke.
Well, you would have been broke anyway.
That's true.
Yeah. It's like it just replaced all your kids. Because the kids used to take all the money. Now the games take all the money.
Well, they're still taking money, but.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, another thing by getting yourself out there in front of different people and socializing is you also socialize yourself into different games, which you might have never been exposed to, because we tend to like what we like. And, lots of times, especially if we're judgy about stuff like, oh, that game looks weird. It's, about, I remember was it Rococo, or I think there was one that was like about fashion industry, which actually was a decent game, but it was just subject matter that looked odd to most people and they wouldn't even give it a chance. So, when you're part of a group, you can actually what?
I'm just you were talking about I don't know, where did I go? Did I get us off topic?
Yeah, you did.
What you're on now, different games and stuff. And I just expanded the window here to our shelves. Both Rob and I have shelves full of games that we may not have played if we stayed in our.
I only have one game per shelf, by the way, or per square. Right. Whatever.
Yeah, right.
So it exposes you and potentially lets you have a better gaming experience, because you're now playing games that other people enjoy, or ones that they bring, or ones that they just back that they're excited about. So that's a definite plus. And, if you're the type of person who's like, hey, I don't need to buy that game because Mark's got it, then, you profit with that as well.
Good point.
You want to take another one of these?
Sure. I think another good one is we see a lot in the media today about mental health. And, everyone, I believe absolutely everyone in the world is impacted in some way by mental health, whether it's your own or someone or just something happening in the world around you that was due to someone else's mental health issues. We're all impacted, and it's very important to find some way to mitigate that, to help improve our own mental health. And like we talked about earlier, a lot of us are working from home. COVID has really isolated a lot of people. Even today, there are people in the world that don't want to go outside. They don't want to be, they're scared. The media is basically, kind of scared a lot of people. So they're not back. There's still people that aren't back to living their life like they did before. And so I think being able to go out and play games with people, you're going to get, you're going to help reduce isolation. You don't want to sit back and be alone. So getting in with a group of people, even if it's people you don't know, when you start, you will make those connections and you're going to feel less isolated. I live in the Pacific Northwest, and right now we're in our very rainy season. We barely get to see the sun. Depression this time of year is huge up here for depression. And so it's like very important to get out and interact with people, find things that you can do to make yourself happy. And for like me, board gaming does that. And, my kids are gone. I'm an empty nester now, and been divorced for 6 years. And all my kids have now left to go to college. It's just me and my dogs. And it's just like, I feel alone. I work from home. I don't, so this is like a great way for, someone like myself to get out, to get that interaction, not feeling isolated, not feeling alone. It rejuvenates me. There's times like I don't feel like going out on my Wednesday night to game. I don't want to do it. But every time I go and I come back, I'm just like, oh, thank goodness I did. And
You're like
I had this great
recharged.
conversation, or, things like that. It's a boost. So yeah, it's real helpful for mental health. And again, not being alone, not feeling like we're alone. Because eventually, like we said, you're going to make friends. This isn't just I'm going to go play games. It turns into, if you keep going, it does turn into a friend group. And now it's just, I don't think of it as like, I call it my game group, but I'm just getting together with friends.
Exactly.
And then it's like, oh, okay, we're going to play games. I mean,
Right.
but I look forward now just to seeing these people almost more than I it used to be like, oh, I'm going to go play a game. That was kind of my thing, was like, oh, good, I get to go play a board game. I'm excited. Now it's very different. I'm like, ooh, I get to go see Kevin and Eva and Frank and Chris and, Nick. And it's like, it's become my friends that I'm going out to see them every week, where like board gaming is a part of it, but it's now become secondary. And that's really good to help people with how they're feeling and their own mental health.
Oh, heck yeah. And, usually you get some of the, we're going to meet up, we're going to grab some food, and then, like chit chat, then play. And, so it's, like you mentioned, it's way beyond just the gaming aspect. It is literally, you're meeting up with friends.
Yep.
And the game group was the ticket to the friendship. Of course, they are the lucky ones. They're the ones that won because they're playing with you. And they got to know you. Then a couple other things. Actually, I'm going to double whammy this by getting out there and socializing, as by playing games, especially if you're going to other people's houses. Number one, you're exposing yourself to more people. Not exposing yourself. You are being. You are making it so that you can annihilate even more people.
Yes.
Crush them and be victorious. And one of my favorite things is you get to sometimes learn about new snacks as you go to people's houses.
That's true.
Like this, my friend Tom that I used to go to way back when I lived in my old place, where he always had some like really cool stuff. Like, snacks that didn't necessarily destroy games, but he'd always like throw stuff around. So it was nice. And I would just say that if you are part of a group where somebody's always providing food, it is very nice if you do that occasionally as well. Just bring it unannounced. It's going to be way appreciated. Like we had a I forgot what we called it. It was like a mini con one weekend over at his house. So I just stopped at Costco and I brought a bunch of those, it was like little turkey croissant sandwiches that they sell over there, or it might have been the rolls. I just remember I went over there and I picked up a whole bunch and I'm like, hey, food. Because, one of the problems of gaming at somebody's house is, well, I mean, it's a little different now with Uber Eats and DoorDash and all those, but it used to be like, hey, it's 8:00 at night. What are we going to eat? Right. And then, usually everybody orders pizza or something like that. But, it is nice to have something that is snackable the entire time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You want to grab the last one?
Sportsmanship.
Yep.
Is that it?
Yep.
So, it does give you the opportunity. So if you're a poor sportsman or you don't like losing, it's going to give you an opportunity to
lose,
to try to improve upon being a better sportsman. None of us, nobody likes to lose. I don't. I really don't. But one thing I've learned, like with this, is what's become so important to me, because I actually lose quite a bit. I am not the best gamer.
You're a loser.
I suck. I have all kinds of things. Part of me is, I'm getting up in age,
it
right?
Happens. Yeah.
So I'll have my I know what I'm going to do. I got it all planned out. By the time it gets around to me, I'm like, what was I going to do? And I forget. And then I'm like, oh, I got to go. I don't want to delay everyone while I'm trying to think of what it was. So then I do something, and then it's on to the next person. And I'm like, oh, I know I meant to do this. And, I hurt myself more times than anybody else impacts me, but
Yeah.
it's changed. Gaming has changed to me ever since I've got into this group. It's about just playing, about having fun with people, interacting with them. My daughter is awesome. My oldest son, awesome. They win all the time. And my daughter asked me one day, Dad, do you ever get tired of me kicking your butt? And I'm just like, I don't care. I'm like, I'm spending time with you. Like, to me, that's what matters. It's not about whether I win or lose.
Yeah, and
playing
I track, is fun. Playing is fun.
Yeah, I track my games. I track who wins. I track how long we play. I track score if there's a score. But it's more of, like, the other day, someone was like, didn't we play this? And I can go, yeah, we played it back here and you won that game. And, oh, by the way, you just beat your high score, at least from the games that I've played with them, And that's why I like track it. Did I improve? Because I could lose, but when I see that I got the best score that I ever have in that game, I'm like, sweet, I'm improving. Doesn't matter that I lost. I did better than I ever have before. That's awesome. And that's what I like to see. So again, it's important to be a very good sport. And when you're in a group, like a very casual board game group, don't worry about winning and losing. Just come, play, have a good time, get to know people, spend time snacking, eating, drinking, conversing, sharing stories. But that's the most important thing. And don't get tied up into whether you win or lost, because that's really ultimately not the point, in my opinion. So.
Oh, exactly. No, I agree with that, because I just enjoy playing games. I love, being around the table with people, talking, just being in presence of people. I know we've talked about this in the past, but because of the whole work from home thing, I get cabin fever. It's like, like at lunchtime, I need to get out. I'll sit at Taco Bell for like half an hour just to be away from here and around people and stuff like that. So if I can be around people and playing games, all the better. So it's like, that's what I enjoy. Winning is nice. I will never say I did not want to win, but like if somebody wins and they win like 10 times in a row, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Like the con number one. I roll. For audio listeners,
no, because I can go back and look that up, and if I recall, you won like several, and then I went like a whole day of winning, and you didn't win a single game, and then next day you won all the games. Actually, it goes back and forth.
It does, yeah, it absolutely does. And actually, the funny thing was, we used to use that one app to determine the starting player.
Yeah.
Remember that? It's like, and I won that every single time. It loves me.
It's rigged.
Yeah. Anyway, so there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed that look into socialization with the hobby. And it encompasses, there's like so many aspects of it, right? And it is part of what makes this hobby better. And while it is fun to play some solo games, like heck, I enjoy the Hercules and 12 Laborers a lot. But, any of these games where there's, more folks that play, all the better. And especially if you're playing with friends, or get out to a game group, because those people that you're playing with, they might be future friends.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anything more to add for this episode, or should we close it out? All right.
I should close it out, good. But I do ask people to comment, on the YouTube. What's your thoughts on kind of how we changed the format? What are your thoughts on the topic? Anything you want to share with us, we look forward to comments.
Awesome. Definitely. All right. So that's it for episode 117. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'm Rob. We'll catch you all in 2 weeks.
And I'm Mark, and we'll see you at the table.